Greetings, it's Intuitive Jacob, your shaman and cosmic midwife, and I'm back. And what's this thing about getting fried today? All that yada yada. You know what? On the place we didn't land, there's something that came through, but you'd have to be able to witness the strand in a view with your eyes shut, or perhaps with a pair of glasses that didn't have lenses like mine do. And we're going to talk about that a little bit on the inside and a little bit more about this magic that we're creating over this strong end for the Cazimi moon with selective determination for gorgeous, loving sensitivity to be in the cosmic chi and infusion, and talk more about that on the inside. See you there. Boop, 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 boop.
Promise that you'll catch your
Hi y'all. What a time. Okay, it's just been really super busy, and some places are being torrentially inhabited by what the troopers know about the storms and what a torrent actually is. You know what a torrent is? Have you ever looked into a bit torrent? It's like little particles of light codes and data that meet at IP addresses that when you pull them through a screen, maybe like a green or a blue screen, appear. And movies are sometimes created, or other things. And now the breath of our hypersentience doesn't go into them and create animated forms with your energetic imprints, taking your best strands of this neural network. We have excommunicated them at 0 point, and that's what the storms are actually for. So torrent data, and just sucking a little bit of poison out of the sign and sigil, bless you, of Libra here. We are in Scorpio season, but due to the unleavening, there are things that are still being pulled out of the spread, and this is where Scorpio is actually ascending from inside of one nuclear container that we've been training here. So I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here at 0 point with me while we prove what the lies were about sentience, humanity, how we were formed, and where some of you all are remembering who the heck we are, why we mate like this, why water is so precious to us, and why none of us would ever throw a baby away and make it so a baby wouldn't have a safe place to be. So we actually have new coordinates that we're working with here, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about here. I'm just going to go ahead and fire up the bioenergetic warfare machine through solar fire and mind corrupted with you here at 0 point. What we have on today is where we're taking our psychic infusion together, and this is where I fired this up and opened this up as the one who can speak to you as end times magic guy here, because 20 degrees Capricorn is actually my Mercury placement, and my natal sun is in the 8th house. It's like where the living dead guy woke up and says, hi, you want to prove where you sat and earned, and what on the morrow is about when you went 2 rows back to things that weren't there to inhabit. And it's kind of like falling in the spaces between UPC symbols and codes that go like that. And it's like, have you ever seen, I know you have actually, it's kind of what this is all about. If you look behind my screen, there's like that Ant Wars. I have a certain GIF back here. It's actually cleaning colors through the nuclear containers as we're doing this. And this is actually bioenergetic fusion that's happening here on this channel. So thank you for those of you who are here with me in real time, improving why we decided to be so loving. Because this is what this is about, and why this 8th house is so important. And we've got this awesome opposition to what's being lifted off. This is like the North Node is like the magnet. It's like somebody pulling the lid off the kettle and being like, okay, here's what was in it, and we're deciding when to slam the can shut, and who doesn't get beheaded for it, right? So We've got some things going on in the house of 6, and I love it. This is like where the harmony of Virgo truly may exist. When Venus is happy and safe at home. And right now we've got this technically a stellium in the 6th house. And gotta get my baby here. She be tripping. I've got her in her little thunder jacket because it's been helping her with her anxieties and stormy weather. But we've got the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. That's a lot of our personal planets all stacked up in the house of 6. And this is like the review. This is where Venus, our ability to thrive as a being, as one being that we all are, from where it's like a little petal that didn't get ripped on the outside, that bloomed from the inside. And we all need to feel good. And this is where we really get clear on that, because now we're talking about my biosphere and what I've been creating, what I've been proving is actually going to be the safety house, and why this address where I am matches my GPS coordinates down to the decimal of my birth on paper. It's weird. And why this is really what the fortnight has been. It's been like how some of us woke up together. It was the Elohim that got in the I am hole. If you spell these things backwards, it's ridiculous, to prove what the void of separation is. And the exit package, and why this arrow for Pisces here on the solar fire map is very funny for me. It's like, yes, get out. But it's kind of what's happening. It's like where the pokey jabs are coming from. Poseidon in the 10th house is why I have to see here when we have Neptune shining like this with the reversal at 16 degrees. And forming the sextile over here to Saturn in the 8th house, it's like, here's where we recognize what's really happening here. Where certain things maybe get blocked and reviewed. So I'm really talking about this square here between the 5th house, 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's like hopes, dreams, love, fantasy, how we make it all happen, how we live it and enjoy it at home and keep safety and healthy, and what really happens in the marriage and the partnership, and then, hey, where we slam a door. And so this is what's been happening. This is the ultimate review. This is what we've been able to prove with tax records. Mine, the president's, I've been on the other end of that. Because of IP addresses, and maybe why certain people didn't want to talk about that. It's like not understanding how some of these things grew and what really bad people might look like when they're juxtaposed through screens that now we can see, and why, like I showed you, that black and white where certain things didn't land, it's kind of like in static ant wars and being disintegrated because it can't land inside this hermetic container with us. So it's like, get your ass out. And that's what we're doing. So what I wanted to focus on are the things that Venus even needs to feel safe and happy at home, especially in Scorpio. Can I get a hoot on that? Can Venus and Scorpio be happy? And what's up, my girl? I know my Michelle over there was just saying, I got Venus and Scorpio. She was telling me yesterday. So how about it gets to feel safe? Like, you know, because we're talking about House of 6. This is daily habits and routines. These are the things that we have to do on a daily basis, just to keep it going on. What Virgo knows about attention to detail, and why our moon was actually in Virgo this morning for, you know, that landing that they want to make with us. Or I'm like, none of y'all landed on this thing. You still think you're in that ear thing, and you don't even know what cosmic scalding looks like when a hedge of protection has been the prayer all along, and we're seeing what didn't make it. So, fake news, fake news, fake news. And why it's such a small group of us, hallelujah, because there was a data dump on the 8th that goes like eon flux, and my friend Ben has the capacitor, and we've had unhidden things to deal with now, because that's what Scorpio is all about. It's the things that cannot be hidden. It's where stuff that's been going on under the surface, that's been building up, starts to reveal itself from all the people around. And it's like where illusions that we've had around us sometimes come back and look at us, and we're like, did that happen? Did I say that? Or is this me? And sometimes it's finding out things about other people or situations that have been deceptive. And so it's a lot to deal with, especially as Venus. And Venus just wants to be safe and happy at home and be able to be lovely and lovemaking and to be deep like that without going deep into the void and finding themselves on the wrong side of the shredder, because that's what the caduceus is for. If we haven't studied our mental health, how we live in home, making sure that we can even land these bodies in the right coordinate packages that match with the actual physical address in a place that technically didn't exist, with enough nuclear density to co-create that form. Now that we have the biosphere here, it's like very painful to be extracted, and I specialize in the art of exorcism. So that's what's coming out, because this has been an unleavening snap. And where do they want us to land with that? If we would be talking about 17 degrees Virgo. Feel free to look into that if you like. I feel like I can pull that up for you here, because we were at the jar of camphor crystals yesterday, something to mask the smell of the dead and the black plague. And today's awakening would have been an old bald woman talking to her dog. And I actually had to kind of make an edit with some friends about what happens to that dog and the bald woman, because we didn't choose to actually land on some of these stakes is the thing. And so now we're actually looking at where we opened this up. And the reason why I want to point to this is because of what Virgo does not, or excuse me, what Venus does not even have to say. When we have established ourselves in a fashion where energetically our world is actually intact, and it's not at war for LED, for light to be on, maybe it's a new realm, let's say, where our 5D essences have learned how to take this form. It didn't exist that way because we were around that world but not in it. Some of us were here not being pulled in, and our strands have come in. And what this caduceus actually is for us that are inside, it's coming through like that. Anything that tries to take a grab is like being chopped up outside. That's why I've been explaining the difference between what law of attraction never was, what the advanced understanding of the law of nuclear thermodynamics and particle relocation is, when we actually take what I can't call an astrological lens on this at all. I have to match this to blood samples, cultures, and like finger swipes to even get into this, or it seems like no thank you. So the moon at 2 degrees Libra, this is actually where we opened up, where we're going to find out what Venus doesn't have to say, and what I was telling you, the glasses with no lenses in them, and our third eye awakening, and the hypersentience wheel that is now the crystalline baby gates, actually will make more sense because of where we decided we were going to open this up and not be taxed for our tears and made bald and lonely to only be able to talk to the dog, although that might be good company. Instead, we went this way, and this is actually what happened today. Libra 2, an apprentice medicine man allowing himself to be bitten by a snake. I wouldn't call myself an apprentice anymore, and I'm not the app where you get to rent me to do anything but expose why that president might have been explaining you're all apps and you've all been rented and it's all been great and it's a Nazi germination. And what we might look like on the other side of the pixie wheel explaining false news without the torrent in the way that we're getting sucked and transfused. And where it chomps and its face looks like that thing from Stranger Things that I've been training advanced Morgellons out of nuclear containers with an advanced toxo rhythm that comes from toxoplasmosis, things that cats actually create if they're, in large quantities of fecal matter, things like that. What can actually happen when this thing jumps into a form? And so it's really, the Demogorgon exists. And what we've been creating now is a way to release these toxins. And while I've actually been through the death cycle, I'm actually this medicine man that allowed himself to be basically poisoned. And I didn't do that on purpose. They gave me 4 hospital infections and killed me. I actually had to clean myself out of that. My right lung collapsed. I had a pleural effusion. It's like acute pneumonia, like what killed a lot of people, that kind of pneumonia. And vancomycin, I was on that for months. I had to like carry around a bag for that. I mean, it's been crazy. I do a lot to purify my body, but I've been dead. And so this is actually where we landed, is where Jacob's helping explain this, and we're actually in Jacob's house. And so, you know, this is not astrology. This is how my art of love was not a law of attraction conjure. The AOL web is now being exposed as boop-a-da-boop. Okay? Bless you, and why the torrential rains and disasters that are going on now are going to be like torrents that we can actually pull away. It's like, there goes a bad movie. Because there's so little light in those biorhythms and beings that it all comes to our nuclear container, and it's like the bad things just taken off the scald. I've been editing this. So here is where we entered. An apprentice medicine man allowing himself to be bitten by a snake from Inside Degrees. Developing Your Soul biography using the Chandra symbols by Elias Lonsdale. Existence itself initiates those who are given over to its rigors and its lessons, but being so exposed to the evolutionary edge is exceedingly challenging. Transformation is a constant at all levels. Everything is becoming something else, metamorphosing before your eyes. Propelled into the most extreme states imaginable, you feel the greatest anguish and loss, the most huge elation and bursts of freedom. Wow. Careful on this one. Do you remember, have you seen The Matrix? You know, that part when Neo's told by Morpheus that when he's really ready, bullets won't matter. Like, he's like impervious, and then there's that scene where all the bullets come in and they just drop. This is what this part's about here. So, finger on the pulse of collective cycles. Now that we know what we actually collected, some things were not collected. Hence, the Cazimi magic that we are preparing for in our psyches together for this Sunday's new moon, where we are entering into gorgeous, loving, sensitive packages that have been selectively determined by torrents and love. Because, you know, I really like what it said about you feeling the greatest anguish and loss being more like the huge elation that comes through in a burst of freedom. And this is where we're training Kundalini. So, you are committed to planetary changes personally and pervasively. You absolutely feel the impact of what is going on and what needs to go on, virtually spun out to infinity by what it all means, all at once. Drawn toward the basic and the simple for breath. Destiny obsessed, rapidly thrown into the midst, you come out on the other side either lost and confused and staggered, or ready for anything, courageous, visionary, and an incredible generator of shared possibilities unlimited. And so I love it because this is where we're explaining the thing that was never the round earth. The next one here is about an inaccurate, imaginative map of the world, and where if you weren't haloed, it's a weird place to grasp for now because of the nuclear Drano. So we're in a different place, and I'm just going to go ahead and jump to what Venus doesn't even have to say, my love, because she's in the house of 6 here, shining with the sun, dearly knowing what she loves clearly. Why, Mercury is right there to help her along. So it's like, let's get this right. Day to day, all the time, and it's nice. How about that for sacred femininity, right? Stick that in the salad shooter. So, 21, Scorpio, pair of glasses with no lenses in them. Well, I have the glasses with lenses in them here, and I'm going to go ahead and look at them. Just to make sure, if you take them up, you know I was looking this way. All right. Because I already looked the other way, and I know this degree very well, but this is for you. Pair of glasses with no lenses in them. What is this? Brutally direct vision and will focus straight down the middle, and outrageously maverick sensibility, convinced that seeing it all just like it is the only way to go. Make a woman happy, right? Defiant of roles, masks, and secondary references, hugely unimpressed by any form of privilege or specialness, desperate to break through all barriers, to go for the jugular vein, neither temperate nor balanced in any sense. Woo! It better be right at home, right? In the path of bluntly insisting upon your right of way, you encounter huge shadows, and you are sorely tempted to assume that they come from the others. But eventually, the hard way, the truth makes itself known that ornery self-righteousness casts its own formidable shadows, and each and every one of these lays a claim upon you that you cannot refuse. Only when the rage has turned to love do the karmic shadows disperse and bear existence, then become a true place to be. Wow. Bless you, baby. This is us waking up to everything that gets split. From the garbage that maybe is better as a special compost to what the real garbage is energetically, and where it just becomes ousted and where it cannot be pervasive here anymore, and why it's like everything that we're learning about here in this house is to protect it. It's the germination. It doesn't spread in a nuclear container that we all choose with one strong view of how we even want it to go and share our energy. We're building a template. And this is where Scorpio 25 is kind of like me now, and what my doctor's appointment was about today. I had the doctor's appointment. Love you, doctor. You payday. This is Scorpio 25, is Mercury here. The doctor experimenting on himself with new drugs. We're pulling through complete healing process and explaining how some of these things got healed so that we can share that data in the light infusions. And the cosmic wheel, so everybody knows what they're getting. It's like, you can wake up feeling better. How about that, right? The analytical disposition carried to its furthest extreme. Life itself is barely valued. Individual survival is no issue. What counts is the truth. But sometimes it's a strange truth. A little bit too skeletal and stark and surreal to be a basis for ongoing life. That's why it's selective. There will be very few in my biosphere. I want the best and the smartest. A little bit too skeletal and dark and surreal to be the basis for ongoing life. Sounds great. It's like the less is more joke. You know, morons, the less of us will do. How about Morgon? I have more on with the less, you know. Isn't that better? Isn't moron a good thing? I don't know. It sounds weird to me. Most of the things that we've heard have like a reverse ping pong effect, so figuring that out. Tower of Babel at 0 points. So weird. If you ever read the Bible, this is some crazy stuff coming out. The cross-referencing this with like the book of Job right now is hilarity for me. But anyway, basis for ongoing life, where we left off there, because we are in touch with dark truths and at times abandoned to the power of death currents of a negative kind, magnetically attracted to decadent thinking and distorted worlds, supercharged with an almost random desire to find out what is in there, clinical, quasi-objective, and piercing. You feel a great need to wake up out of the trance of fate and of darkness, to learn, to feel again, to have things matter, to have life prevail, and to return to yourself as a sentient being who deserves to be here, free and clear. You know, like good health and no mortgage. What's this freaking rickroll with like being engaged to death with this real estate that most people didn't land in right? They didn't land the coordinates, put it that way. And so it's like, guess what isn't there? This is what we're learning about, and why the doctor had to get involved, and why this has actually been psychic training for all of you with special sounds that go through my windows. Because the fiber optic computers woke up everywhere, starting with these things in your eyes, and you all have actually helped me craft it here by just being friends of mine and being a part of this toggle right there. And so, I know I already said it, but I'm going to tell you again, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. And I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to take these off. Oh, I was going to show you. Thanks for all the new stuff. Hey, you guys, if you're watching my show, if you like it, please appreciate the thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. It really helps. And I appreciate those of you that have gotten new readings and stuff from me. I've gotten some new gifty things that I can work with. And I never had one of these before. I've got a new Magic 8 ball. You can ask a question and turn it over for the answer. And I'm thinking if any of y'all want to join me for the Cazimi Moon, I'm probably going to host this live because this is a premiere right now. It's a premiere for those of you on YouTube and DTube later. If you're catching this live with me in private Halo A, you know it's live all the time because of how the house is actually being lifted up and what the Wizard of Oz treatment is. Thanks, Regina Dugan. I love DARPA. But yeah, so we're going to come back and I might do it live YouTube also, perhaps on Sunday here is what I'm thinking about, and bust out the Magic 8 ball and see how that works. And we also have the new Island Time Love Oracle cards. These are tarot decks for clarification and to complement readings. And these are kind of straight to the point. I saw some photos of what they say. And they are really cool. I'm looking forward to busting them out. So, new stuff. Thanks to people who have been sharing their love with me. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. What about a love reading? Let's see what we can find out. And do we have Archangel Gabrielle? If we do. All right, making sure. So we're going to have her for the music and especially, yeah, baby, for that thing that needs to come. Somebody needs to talk bad. Oh my gosh, I'm hearing it's like somebody needs permission though. It's like, I don't know if it's like you can't talk to, you have to have permission for something, or if it's like, maybe it's like getting permission from your family for something. I'm hearing for somebody, it's like whimpering to mom about, now, mom, now, this needs to happen now, bless you. And what an amazing consolation would look like for somebody. I'm hearing this has to deal with, maybe, and they're telling me grandma, but it's like something, this might be your grandma here. The table. I'm hearing she's like the matriarchal figure, and it's like you need her for something, and it's like there's this guy over here, and he's just waiting. You know, he's waiting to hear things. I know how that feels. I've been dealing with stuff like that here in my own home, trying to figure out what's going on with my father and his state. He's been in the hospital, and I can relate to these energies right now. So it's like some of y'all, it's like just learning how to come together as a family for different things. And that might be what that looks like and how people can feel relieved. But I'm here for somebody else. This is literally like, I don't know how to sit down with all these people that I would need to talk to about this one situation so I can feel relieved like that. But I'm hearing it's like a romance thing. And I don't know if it's like, I'm hearing for somebody, it's like your family might be really super traditional about things. And it's like, she is so nervous about falling in love that it's like she had to, or him maybe, but I'm hearing it's she. They're telling me that this guy, know your own gender, please. I mean, I'm hearing she for him, or for her, for this one here. Okay? This person here that I would say he if I just met him and I didn't know otherwise, but I'm hearing it's she that needs to be relieved, and that it's like, might be in love with this one over here, and they're saying it's like aloof. It's like, I don't know if he was playing aloof or she was playing aloof is what I'm hearing, and it's like her family gets together for everything, and they're saying it's like you kind of have to bring it up to mom, but you would have to bring it up to everybody, and I'm hearing it's like the uncle you really have to worry about because he's the one that's going to have all the opinions, and that's what mom's going to listen to. And then it's like she wants to ask him to do something. They keep showing me the ring, so I don't know if it's like somebody wanting to propose to somebody, and it's like I have to bring it in front of my whole family, and it's like a weird thing they have to do with a traditional family that is like, no, we always do it this way, and there's like a certain way to court. But yeah, it's a very specific message for somebody that's coming out here. So I don't know if you're watching my channel. If you are, let me know. I'd really like to know how that is, because I'm hearing that it's like whatever it is going to work out. They're showing me the card about kind of keeping things light and tactful, and you might want to check Ye Star Days reading. This card was showing up a lot about like just keeping it light and like, you know, knowing how to take a light landing on something that might be shitty. Like, you know, maybe you're dealing with a screwball situation where people are stressed out too. This could be something like that. And it's like learning how to manage personalities and, you know, make a difficult situation better. But I'm hearing for those of you, especially if that's the case, you need to see this card right here. This Gran Consolazione. This is the person who gets a great relief. And so it's going to work out. You need to know that it's going to work out, especially if you were waiting to hear some news. I'm hearing it might come out about somebody who gets removed. They're saying somebody might get removed because this Il Nemico is like somebody that steals things. It's one of the enemies in the deck all covered up. And then look underneath, we've got like the shy woman that doesn't know how to say she's in love. And it's like the match to this card. And so for those of you that need to know, it's like it's communication that you can handle. They're telling me it's like it's something you can handle and something that gets sent. Either gets sent or delivered to somebody's house, but they're showing me people like handling it and like sharing. So some of you all, that's what this is all about. It is kind of a warning too about watch your communication because people could be triggered, you know. And I mean, I can only speak to you guys raw. I'll talk to you guys about even what's going on in my life. You know, I have a family here and we've been going through a lot. Just even, you know, trying to stay on top of people's personalities during a crisis, like, you know, somebody's hospitalized and under tenuous situations with what some people say would be difficult communication style energies. And sometimes the best you can do is just watch in your communication how you're handling things with people. Make sure that you're attending to details and trying to leave room for grace, because without grace, it's like there's nothing for any of us. And I think that as somebody that's been reviewing these collections, and I just even have to go back here. Oh, wait, I took you to my house. Hi, Jacob's house. To take you here to the chart. Now, this chart here, I have to come back. This is where I feel like we really have to look at what it is that we have in our hands. And as a collective, I feel more inclined to sometimes read this now because it's like such a small group of us that can really focus our intentions. And when we do, it makes a huge difference. And I feel like this is like the strong end where these things are all coming out of the rinser. This is like the end, babes. It really, really is. And so we need grace. And I think that if we pay attention to what the 8th house actually is, it's like, this is the house of magic. For me, just even knowing that that's my Mercury placement right there, I feel somewhat confident talking about this to people, where it's just like knowing that our transformative powers as a whole, where it's not just on you, it's not just on me, it's not just on like any person that we can just point at, it's on all of us to know that we have this magic here. This is the transformative magic of what happens, what we say, what we speak to. And I'm just going to pull the book again, because before I even pull out anything else with these cards, it's like I feel like it's just so important that we know that our ability to change things by how we communicate is right here. And why it's fascinating. It's like the scent that's rising. It's our ascension. And what Pluto is at 20 degrees Capricorn is many different perfumes being carried by a breeze. It's like a whole new take on what ascension is. It's the scent coming up where you have an individual scent, like what comes through the fontanelle of your head, where you're more of a spice factory. You got loved, and it's kind of like you came up on pixie wheels. And if you've ever had cotton candy, you know, you take your cone and you like wrap it up in the cotton candy. That's kind of what this is. You're like picking up these particles, and it's a sweet process where we don't have to fall into the hole of like all these text messages. What Elohim knows is this scent of the 5D resonance, where we didn't even need the words, but if we did, maybe no works, you know, because it's no, gnosis. It's all of those things, and we can come up in a scent. As many different perfumes in that breeze, the breath of life, versus Tower of Babel collapse and bullshit. So this is what we have our hands on in the House of 8. So for those of you that need to communicate better, just know that this is why we have a liftoff on the House of 2, or House of Possessions, possessiveness, things that don't ever happen in our world or in our bodies, in our home. And where this actually, we have a line being drawn over this, and it's kind of like these kinkunks that are coming from things like Chiron, Neptune, Uranus, all these things that are in retrograde. It's like a ball bouncing back and saying, no, we're making a fold here and protecting 3 and 4, because 4 is home, our roots, our family, and 3 is, our friends, our neighborhood, our associations. And so this liftoff pattern here on 2 is showing us what happens and where it comes off of Saturn there, how we already came through, and where it's about feminine power, and where a woman wearing a necklace of skulls is what they're speaking about, and where she does not get scourged. And so it's like we have to take a new look at this. And for those of you that are working on these relationships, please know that people might be in a different way than you expected, especially coming through the Scorpionic energy. Really can drive things with people to be unpredictable. Wow. But it's like a time for healing communication if you're willing to put yourself there. And it's transformative because it's in the House of 8. You did get that butterfly, and look what's just showing up everywhere for me. It's like the reunion, la reunion, and dottore. It's the person that made a house call. And then it's, wow, the husband, gran signore. Got the trip here. Oof. Got the idiots that fell in the Mobius strip. 3 fools, the deliranti. And the person that maybe needed to talk to grandma about taking that trip. That's what I'm hearing. Or know that wherever they were going was going to be protected, and that it would be approved of by whoever made those rules in your family. Because for some of y'all, that's what this is. It's like trying to figure out what this deja vu is. Because I've been having it too. We're landing the particles. So, gonna get some fresh energy here on these cards. We're gonna spray a little bit of this. Smash. Sounds good. And I'm gonna pop open the song, because we got a song coming from Archangel Gabriel to help us with this reading. Alright, what do my babies need to know on today? Okay. Let me go here. Oh, wow. I love this song so much. So, today, Archangel Gabriel has selected a song for us. This is Unbound by Cathedrals. Oh, there's something inside that stars when I see you. Unless you're back to pieces. I'm hearing this is like that dottore. It's like healing love and sentiments and things that are shared, and little surprises that show up to let you know that someone cared. So I'm hearing for some of you, it's like feeling like whatever you did was just like not important, being thrown or cast to the ground, and somebody maybe picking up something that you left around them and thinking it was special. And it's like finding out nice things about people and maybe what their children said. There might be different reasons why Donna Maritata shows up, but I'm here for somebody, it's like these might be chance encounters. And I'm here for somebody, it's like where you go over the strong end and like meeting someone who gives you a face, and not to sound creepy, but it's like the kind of person that you'd bring home that would be like mom the right way, you know? And they're telling me it's not speed dating, but it might be some kind of bar. And I'm hearing stick to the root beer if you're on strong medication. Because sometimes that's what you need, you know? None of this stuff goes straight to the liver. That's what my doctor warned me about too. He's like, you gotta be careful with these things. Just making sure. So Speedy, look at that. So this is somebody that might be lamenting about the thing that went away and didn't come back. And why. And they're saying it's like, sometimes people realize that in order to find themselves in a new situation, it's like they have to be away from certain types of situations or people, and it's like just changing that sometimes makes a difference. And I'm hearing for some of you, it's like being faced with the difference of what you want to send away forever, because it's like, is it the situation that makes me feel like I could be the wife and the one with the children with this guy, or is it like the party guy that Grandma said chased him away, is what I'm hearing. And so for some of you all, that's gonna make sense about something. If there were like two suitors there, and I'm hearing for some of you all, especially if this is like to do with that previous message, it's like this Unbound song is kind of like the Will You Marry Me Forever song. You might want to look up the lyrics. It's stunning. It's a beautiful song. But I do want to pull up something else on this, so Speedy, actually, because I want to know. Yeah, okay, so for some of you all, especially if you find yourself either being this person that's kind of like lamenting over the two worlds, is what I'm hearing. It's like this world or that world, is what I'm hearing. You're saying, maybe you have a friend. It might actually be your baby. It might be your dog, like mine, that it just makes you feel better. But I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like you're going to be confronted with what loyalty actually is, because sometimes it's not what it looks like. There are different ways that people can show their loyalty, and especially if you have to make a difficult decision, it's like, go with the family vibe, is what I'm hearing. I'm hearing go with the family vibe, and it's going to prove to you to be like the safest and the one where you can actually be yourself. Because I'm hearing it's like, if you're going with like, no offense here, but if you're going with the party vibe stuff, it's like, you're not going to be able to relax. You're not going to be able to relax. And I've seen this many times when I've been hired by people, and it's like, all right, there's like these 2 or 3 guys, and you know, which one's going to do me right? And it never works out with the party guy in any of these that I've been seeing. It's like, because then by the time you want to take off your makeup and you want to just be you and just like not have to be like the presentation all the time, it's like, you're not going to get it there. It's like, you're going to be pouring alcohol all over it with this situation, is what I'm hearing. And I'm hearing for some of you all, it's like, you're not even the one that drinks. And so you're going to know just by which one gives you the vibe, because they're saying one of them, it's going to be like distinct. And it might be weird for some of you, because I'm hearing it's like, it might sneak up on you where it's like, what did I just meet? It's like all of a sudden I just saw myself being like pregnant with his 2 kids, is what I'm hearing. And so just know sometimes, especially if you heard it from your grandma, before, is what I'm hearing. It's like, that's why the good one left. And it's like the one with the dog, either the one with the dog or the one that's got the kind of vibe that made you feel like that. That's the one that's going to be there for you. I have to sneak under this one. I just have to see what it is, because it's driving me nuts. Okay, so disgrazia, that's a big deal. That just fell at the bottom, so I don't know. Let's see. We have to see what's under the surprise now. Okay, jealous people. There you go. Disperato per jealousy. So for some of you, it's like, I'm hearing that might actually make you happy, knowing that whoever the jealous shit is gets exposed, because it's like, somebody's going to get exposed, especially if you go with your heart on this, and you might see the real test of fidelity, where what La Fidelita is, where it's like, you might have thought you had a certain kind of like loyalty with people, and find out it's like, they're only like your party friends. It's like, if you stop doing whatever it is where you get together and they just feel like they can drink and do whatever it is that they do, it's like, you're going to see this shit come out, especially if you pick the other person that's the family vibe. So have fun with that. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and know that that was underneath and it didn't show up until this like shot out of the bottom of the deck. So you might have some interesting options here, my love. Let me know what you think. I love your comments. I love to read them. And it helps me actually pass encouraging messages back to you. So hit me with a comment. I'd love to write to you guys. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you would like your own reading with just your personal information, I can do that. I even have a special. So wait, it's that way. And also in my information below. All right, I love you, and I'll catch you again. We're back for another one. So I'm thinking Sunday for Cazimi Magic, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Bye for now.